Now, the formal remains of the late COPE leader and former Free State Premier Mosioua Lekota have arrived in Bloemfontein. Lekota passed away at a Johannesburg hospital yesterday, and SABC News reporter Makgala Masiteng is there for an update on the latest developments on this story. Makgala, good morning. And of course, this is a very somber occasion, and the remains of the first democratic dispensation premier of the Free State province, prominent leader of the UDF and just all-round freedom fighter. He arrives, or his remains arrive in the Free State this morning. Talk to us about what you've been seeing and what we can expect.
Good morning, Sakina. Yes, as you have indicated, the remains arrived at the family, and later on we will be going, of course, just to get an update in terms of the arrangement, in terms of the laying of this struggle icon. But we got the opportunity, Sakina, to speak to some of the people who worked with him before 1994 and post 1994, and the organizational work, as you would know, that he was a member of African National Congress and the first premier of the Free State post 1994, serving between 1994 and 1996 before the party then took him to the national parliament. But what is common in all their sentiments is how Mosioua Lekota was during their time together in the organization, even his leadership style. Many of those, we were able to speak to many of the former premiers of the Free State, even the current premier of the Free State, and really what is common is that he was brave, and it wouldn't be easy, of course, to change his mind if he had decided that he believes in something. In fact, the former premier of the Free State, Makgala, said that he was a fighter, and these sentiments are echoed by the former premier of Free State, who also indicated that they were surprised by how brave he was, even talking back about what they saw during one of the national conference of the ANC, where the discussion came about in terms of talking about 50-50 representation of women and men, or rather gender representation in the ANC, that they were surprised when he stood and he was able to argue even in that national conference against the likes of the former president of the party, Nelson Mandela, that is some of those that showed how brave he was. But also many of them indicating that he was also confrontational, that if he did not like what you were doing, especially within the party, he will directly tell you that he is not happy with what you are doing. So we will be, of course, monitoring the development throughout the day to see exactly what is happening. But those sentiments, or rather tributes, are continuing to pour as many, of course, look back into the life of Mosioua Lekota. One of the people who worked closely with him, even though there was a fallout at some point, is Makgala, who really indicated that even though there was some differences during their political careers, this is one man that should be honored for his contribution, not only after 1994, where he really contributed in terms of providing the stability within the province and in the country, but also he must be honored for his contribution even before 1994, Sakina.
Well, thank you so much, Makgala Masiteng, and of course our focus on that story will be carried through by Makgala.